Hi everyone. Are you worried about the current economic situation because there are rumors saying that recession is coming? If we recall, 2 years ago, we are in the COVID recession due to the lockdown and border closing in most countries, including Singapore. It was a short 2 months downturn from February to April 2020. The key indicators of recession is high unemployment rate and slow economic growth in terms of GDP, gross domestic product. Many people lost their job because of the lockdown. Many factories and businesses are forced to shut down, and therefore people are losing their job, especially in the retail sectors, F&B, and of course airline and travel industry. According to the World Bank, the global growth is expected to slump from 5.7% in 2021 to 2.9% in 2022. There is still growth, but at a slower pace. The global economy is doing very well last year in 2021. It was a steep recovery in most industries when the economy opened up. However, the slowdown started since the beginning of this year 2022. There are a combination of few reasons. Firstly, because of the interest rate hike several times by the Federal Reserve. Total there are 3 times, which is 0.25% in March, 0.5% in May, and 0.75% in June. And secondly, the conflicts between Russia and Ukraine since February. We are now living in a high inflationary pressure environment post the lockdown effect due to the disruption in supply chain, and there are more demands in the current market, and therefore central banks are now raising the interest rate to control the inflation. High interest rate will discourage borrowings of companies and individuals. For an individuals like you and me, we are likely to spend less. We will prefer to switch from high-end products to a more affordable one. We are likely to feel encouraged to put our hard-earned savings in the bank as there are higher interest rate as return. See, the fixed deposit rate and the Singapore saving bonds have just increased their interest rate. Theoretically, the increase in interest rate will help to slow down the economy. However, the aim of the government is not to cause contraction in the economic growth, but just to slow down the inflation rate from the high 5% to the normal and target 2%. So there is a worry if the interest rate keep increasing by too much. This might lead to recession, negative economic growth, which will cause companies to lay off more staff if they are not profitable during the recession. There is also another possibility that stagflation might happen. Stagflation, a combination of high inflation and at the same time high unemployment rate. Sounds really bad. Rising interest rate but slow economic growth. It happened in the 1970s. This scenario is more of a concern to the economy because it hurts the economy and really bad for individuals who are unemployed but have to pay for high consumer price and high interest rate on debts if they have. So what is going to happen in the second half of 2022 and next year 2023? Our Ministry of State for Trade and Industry, Alvin Tan, assured us that we do not expect a recession or stagflation in 2023. From a personal level, I think it is still important to revisit our personal financial plan, especially if you have a retirement plan. There are a few things that we could do to better prepare for any economic downturn. Firstly, make sure we have enough cash to survive for at least 6 months if unemployment happens. Touch wood, not to cause panic here, but emergency funds is there to help to pay for expenses even if we have reduced or have no income. There are definitely fixed expenses for accommodation, transportation, and food and beverage every day. 6-month expenses is just a benchmark, as we expect job seekers could get a job within 6 months of active searching. Remember, during COVID recession, many people get retrenched. However, there are also new job opportunities such as safe distancing officer or ambassador or swab test person. Of course, having more emergency funds make us feel better because if we feel like we are safe. Second, revisit personal budget by listing down all the recent expenditure and see which categories of spending we could cut back. Take into account the recent increase in rental if your landlord asks for it. We know that the rental market is very hot now. Increase in utility bills if you are homeowner. By tracking down all the recent expenditures, likely there's an increase because of the high inflation. Okay, then we can try to see which part of the budget can be reduced or removed. For example, we can try to get rid of some monthly subscription that we do not really need. Focus on buying the things that we actually need rather than what we want. This is called delay gratification. Work out a realistic budget and stick with it. We can project our future cash flow and savings and match our financial goals. Third, relook at the outstanding debts that we have. If we are having a few loans such as credit card, student loans, housing loan and personal loans, check out if the recent increase in interest rate affect our loans. Always get rid of the highest interest rate debts, which are the credit card debts. The interest rate can be as high as 28% per annum if we do not pay the full amount stated in the statement. So credit card debts and personal loans are unsecured, so they are always being charged as a higher interest rate compared to housing loan. Fourth, upskilling self. In any situation, upgrading and investing in self is the best thing we could do to our future self. For Singaporean citizens, there are skill futures credit of $500 per annum that you could utilize. For anybody who have a laptop and Wi-Fi access, there are free courses available online by Google and Meta, where we could learn about data analytics and digital marketing, which are also on-demand skills in this century. We can try to upskill ourselves so that we can get better job opportunity in the future, or make use of time to start a side hustle so that we do not depend on single income source. Okay, that's all about it. This is just a brief sharing on what we could do with the current economic situation. No matter what economic cycle we are at now or entering soon, there are always opportunity. Just that we need to be prepared. Make sure we have enough to survive and also have extra cash buffer to put into investment, preferably defensive sectors which are recession proof, such as staple sector, utility sector and technology sector. Alright, that's all about it. I hope we learned something and you enjoy our video content. Thank you for watching this. Do subscribe to our channel as we will continue to post on a weekly basis. See you again in the next one.